Hi everyone, Sheree here. Today I'm going to be continuing work on my 2019 December album. So it is now October 2020, and like many of you out there, I didn't get to finish my album last year, and I really want to get this done before December this year. So I do have a few pages already complete. I did get up to day 5 chronologically, and then I've got some other pages complete, but they're sporadically throughout the album. So there's lots of blank pages I still need to fill in this album. So I'll just give you a quick look at what I have already. I'm using the beautiful Star Felicity Jane album that was available last year, which I absolutely love. I've got my title page done. That was using the Felicity Jane Digital Cozy Kit, which is still available in the store. I created this advent calendar page using the Felicity Jane Advent Calendar cut file that you can find in the Silhouette store. I absolutely loved putting this together. There is a video on my channel if you'd like to have a closer look at how I put this one together. Each little card comes out. You can put a little saying or a little activity on the back of each card, and that was just so much fun. That one is decorated on the back. I still need to fill in this page. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put there yet, but I still need to work that one out. I do have day 1 complete. This featured the Cozy Kit again from Felicity Jane. Day 2 is done as well, and I've got day 3 here again using the Felicity Jane Digital Cozy Kit. And I've got day 4 completed here. This was featuring some Kerry Bradford Studio last year. Also a vellum page that went with that one. And then I've got my day 5 completed. This was using the Felicity Jane Noel kit last year. I really loved this one. This was for all our advent calendars. We each had one last year, and inside each envelope is the photo of the advent calendar and some text on the back, just telling about each person's advent calendar for last year. And there is a video for this one on my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is where I'm up to. I haven't got day 6, 7 or 8 complete. Day 9 is done, but I do need to fill in this gap in between. So I'll be working on the back of this full-sized page here. So I'll just show you what I have ready to go. Alright, so this one was all about our Christmas lights on our house. So I've got the full page photo printed out, and what I'm planning on doing is using a piece of acetate over the top. I really want to create a little flip up, and I've got this Twinkle Lights phrase that I've cut using the Felicity Jane Twinkle Lights cut file available in the Silhouette store. Absolutely love this. I've used vinyl to cut that out using my Silhouette, and I'm planning on adhering that onto the acetate, perhaps adding a little star on the top there. But I'm yet to figure out how I'm going to attach the acetate to the photo. I do have some glitter tape that I could use just so that it's a little flip up. You can even get a closer look at the photo there. Perhaps a couple of star brads. I haven't quite decided just yet. I do have a 4 by 3 by 4 pocket page for the other side of this spread. I do have 2 photos already in there, and I've got 2 journaling cards as well. So I need to print out my journaling to go on this one, and I'm planning on using the Kerry Bradford Studio Outnumbered 2 stamps to add my number 6 on here. So I've got some embossing powder, the Gold Tinsel Ranger embossing powder there that I'd like to try and use. So that is my plan for day 6. So I'll get right into it and show you how I'm going to put it together. Okay, so I'm starting off by doing a little bit of stamping. So I've got the number 6 on my acrylic block using my Versamark ink. I'm just stamping straight onto some scrap white cardstock, covering it with that gold tinsel embossing powder, and now I can use my heat tool on that. I'm just getting rid of that excess powder first and getting the lid on that little pot so that it doesn't get spilled anywhere. And now I can use my heat tool. So I love watching this transition, and this embossing powder is so fun. It's shimmery and shiny, and I really love it. Okay, so I've fussy cut that number 6 and that's going onto this little journaling card, and all I'm going to do there is add a chipboard star, and I will add some stitching to that a little later as well. So moving on to my journaling, I've used my computer and printer to add that to my journaling card. And to finish this one off, I'm just going to add the date at the very bottom. So I'm just stamping onto a separate piece of cardstock. I'm going to cut that out and adhere that on the bottom, and that'll get stitched as well. So all I need to do now with these 2 photos is add a phrase sticker. So I'm just going to add them to the top of each of the photos. Looking at that first one, I wish I'd put the sticker at the bottom, but it's on there now and that's how it's going to stay. So one more phrase going onto that other photo, and now I can grab my sewing machine and add stitching to those, and you'll see though how they turned out in the photos at the end of the video. So moving on to that large photo page. So I've got a new fresh piece of acetate here that I'm going to add over the top. I'm going to trim that down, and I want to leave where the holes are going to go. I want to leave that clear of any acetate. Thinking back, I could have used a full page, punched the holes, and then cut little slits in them so you could still lift the acetate up. But this is how I chose to do it when I created this page. So you'll see here in a minute, it's a little bit shorter on the right hand side than the photo, and that was totally intentional. Alright, so I've got a piece of vellum which I've scored and folded in half, and this is how I'm going to create my little flip up. So I'm going to adhere the back piece of the vellum to the back of the photo. So I'm just adding some double-sided tape to that side of the vellum, and hopefully as you see me do this it'll be a bit clearer how I'm putting this together. Alright, so the back of the vellum is getting adhered to the back of the photo, and again I'm leaving that little gap on the right side of the photo. So the acetate is now going to be adhered to this little flap that's coming over to the front. So I'm adding double-sided tape to that, and I'll be adhering the acetate to that little flap. And to cover that adhesive, which you can see through the acetate, I'm going to use my glitter tape across that. So just making sure it's nice and straight, so it's flipping up nicely. And now I'm going to add that gold glitter tape across the front. So I've cut it to the same width as the acetate, and you can see there underneath I'm also going to add a piece that goes right across the whole photo. That way when the little flip up page is down, you will see the glitter tape going right across the top of that photo, so it doesn't look odd. Alright, so trimming that off, and you can see there the effect that that gives. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to move on to my vinyl words. So just peeling off that backing paper, and I'm going to carefully position it onto my acetate, making sure it's nice and centered, and then I'm just going to use my fingers to rub over all of the letters, making sure it's adhered down nicely before peeling that top layer away. I did just need to fix up the dot on the eye there, but I'm really happy with how that's turned out. So to finish this one off, I'm going to add that little glitter star at the top there, just using a bit of double-sided tape for that. Alright, so that is done. I'm really happy with how that's turned out. So underneath, I noticed I could still see the adhesive there, so I'm just going to add another piece of glitter tape under the acetate there to cover up that adhesive. So just add that one onto the back there, leaving a little gap in between so that it folds down nicely still, and just trim off that edge. Alright, so now I can get this ready to go into my album. So I've got the previous page from my album, and I'm going to adhere these 2 pages back to back, and then I'll be able to use the holes on the other page to punch the holes in my new photo page. So just making sure that's nicely lined up and looking good. And now I'm going to grab my hole punch and go ahead and punch the holes there. And then my pages will be ready to go into my album. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've put this page or day number 6 together, and I'll be back really soon to share some more pages from my December daily album from 2019, hoping to get that finished this year. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.